Damn. Another legend gone? This has got to be the most heartbreaking year when it comes to professional wrestling. Losing legends left and right, even out of nowhere. As a wrestling fan myself, it just breaks my heart. Ladies and gentlemen, this has got to be one of the most saddest deaths in all of professional wrestling here. We lost another legend that is coming from the Hart family, from the legendary Hart Foundation, and that is the Neidhart. My apologies. The Anvil, Jim Neidhart. Let's talk about him and honor him. That's right, one of the most well-known and the most beloved wrestlers in the Hart family has just lost another member. 20 years ago, we tragically lost Owen, and now we lost the Anvil. A tragic loss for the Hart family, especially his daughter, Natalya. And as a wrestling fan, it's time for me to honor and respect the man. Not only is one of the most talented, but the most beloved and the most likable and the most technically sound and a well-known powerhouse in the family. James Henry Neidhart was born in February the 8th, 1955 in Tampa, Florida. He attended New Harvard High School in Tampa. Neidhart gained his first athletic acclaim for his success in strength-oriented track and field events. He held the California high school record for a shot put in 1973 until 1985 after graduating from high school. Neidhart pursued a career in the National Football League, where he played for the Oakland Raiders and Dallas Cowboys in practices and preseason games. Following his release from the Dallas Cowboys, Neidhart traveled all the way to Calgary to train with Stu Hart and pursue a career in professional wrestling. He worked with the Hart Stampede Wrestling promotion from 1978 to 1983, and then again in 85, during which time he married Ellie Hart, one of Stu's daughters. He was a two-time Stampede International Tag Team Champion in 1980 and in 1983. Now, here's an interesting fact of where he get the Anvil nickname. Back in the day, Stu Hart, seeking publicly for Neidhart, promised him $500 to enter and win an Anvil toss at the Calgary Stampede. He did, throwing it at 11 feet and 2 inches. That earned him the nickname of the Anvil, replacing his prior nickname, the Animal. In 1985, the original Hart Foundation began when Jim the Anvil Neidhart, already managed by Jimmy Hart, the Mouth of the South, joined his brother-in-law, Bret the Hitman Hart, to form the Villainous Tag Team. With both Bret's technically sound arsenal and Jim the Anvil's powerhouse skills, they become one of the most well-known and the most forced to be reckoned with tag teams in the WWF. By having great rivalries with the British Bulldogs, the Killer Bees, and the Strike Force. And also, they've become two-time WWF World Tag Team Champions. In 2003, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated ranked 37 on one of the most 100 best tag teams in the PWI years in 2003. Then the Hart Foundation split up in 91. So later on in the same year, as Bret had tremendous success with the Intercontinental title, Jim the Anvil Neidhart had a very okay moments during his singles career. That is, until he met Owen Hart, the late great Owen Hart, and together they have formed the new foundation. The duo became famous and instantly recognizable for their bizarre baggy pants attire and bright jackets. That's the early 90s for you. Then they broke up in 94, but back in 1997 they got back into the World Wrestling Federation, and thus they formed the Hart Foundation. The new Hart Foundation. A new villainous stable in the Federation that consists of Brian Pillman, Owen Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and the late great British Bulldog, Davy Boy Smith. They were a villainous foreign stable, kicking ass and taking names there while taking down the Americans. And when you kind of think about it, looking at this picture right now, it's sad that the four of them that we know and love are gone, and the only survivor is the Hitman. I always loved this stable. It's really heartbreaking and really sad for the Hart family when you think about it. I mean, the only survivor within that stable is Bret the Hitman. Where I got the news is that earlier today that I woke up and my friend shared this to me here. One of my best friends shared this to me, and I was just absolutely sad and heartbroken here. And I felt really, really sad for Natalya, his daughter, who is currently working at the WWE right now at the moment, now at the Raw brand. So in conclusion, I wanted to send my deepest and sincere condolences to the Hart family, to Helen, to Bret, and especially to his daughter, Natalya Neidhart. rest in peace, and rest in power. We'll always remember you as one of the best, no matter what.